We're on a treasure hunt on today's edition of Liberty at Home. Hello there, friends, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Liberty at Home. I'm Adam Rivero from the Liberty Baptist Church, where I've been the pastor for the past 10 years. Today, as always, we're broadcasting from ECAT Studios in beautiful Easton, Massachusetts, where the South Coast Rail Phase 2 extension will be built somewhere around the year 2074. Today, we're nearing the end of our study of Psalm 119 as we look at the second to last section of the chapter. So join me, if you will, in verses 161 through 168 as we read together. Princes have persecuted me without a cause, but my heart standeth in awe of thy word. I rejoice at thy word as one that findeth great spoil. I hate and abhor lying, but thy law do I love. 7 times a day do I praise thee because of thy righteous judgments. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. Lord, I have hoped for thy salvation and done thy commandments. My soul hath kept thy testimonies, and I love them exceedingly. I have kept thy precepts and thy testimonies, for all my ways are before thee. A few years ago, our family drove over the bridge to Yarmouth to look around a museum that I'd never visited before, but that intrigued me. The Whydah Pirate Museum is a tourist attraction out on the Cape that explores the history of a vessel called, well, you guessed it, the Whydah. This 100-foot, 300-ton ship plied the waters of colonial America in the early 1700s. That is, until a violent storm across the coast of Cape Cod sent the galley to the depths of the sea, with all hands lost save 2. Also lost, get this, up to 30,000 pounds of silver, 10,000 pounds of gold, and 20 tons of ivory and jewels. Now, fast forward to the 1980s. 260 years later, an explorer named Barry Clifford went to some extraordinary lengths to track down the wreckage of the ship and the contents that it carried. Our family was amazed as we went through the museum and looked at all the types of intricately designed artifacts that had been pulled painstakingly from the sea and restored to their original beauty. I tell you this, if you've never been there before, I highly encourage you to make time to visit. Of course, you tuned into Liberty at Home to learn some Bible truth, not to hear a promo for the Cape Cod Historical Society. So let's consider this thought for a few moments. Look again at verse 162. It says this, I rejoice at thy word as one that findeth great spoil. When I visited the Whydah Pirate Museum, it amazed me the depths, pun intended, that explorers went to in an effort to bring up the contents of this long buried and long forgotten pirate ship. Yet the psalmist says that when he dug into the Word of God and found some of its treasures, it caused him to greatly rejoice. You see, just as an explorer like Barry Clifford or Mel Fisher will give their lives just out of the mere hope that they'll someday find the long-lost spoils of the sea, we can find even greater cause to rejoice when we search the Scriptures to find its treasures hidden in plain sight. It's God's desire that you seek Him through His Word with all of your being, that you'd seek Him like a man dying of thirst looks for water, like a small child looks for a parent when they're needing comfort, like someone who's bobbing in the depths of the ocean, hoping to rise back up and get one more big gulp of air. You see, seeking the Lord is that serious. Yet for many, oddly enough, it's the most casual of all their relationships. They put all their effort and energy into many things, both good and bad. Yet, like Martha in Luke 10, we've forgotten the one needful thing, to seek Christ through His Word with every fiber of our being. It reminds me of Philippians 3, verse 10, that I may know Him and the power of His resurrection and the fellowship of His sufferings, being made conformable unto His death. Yet, how can we know Him apart from this Word of God? So let's read it with our eyes, register it in our heart, and rejoice with our lips. Today, I leave you with the words of Psalm 19, verses 9 and 10. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold. Do you believe that? Then rejoice at His word. Well, thanks for tuning into today's episode of Liberty at Home. I truly hope you'll visit us sometime soon at Liberty Baptist Church. We meet every Sunday and Wednesday at 800 Washington Street, Route 138. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, your favorite podcast app, or at mylibertybaptist.org. Well, my time's up, so don't forget, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. We'll catch you next week on ECAT for another episode of Liberty at Home.